All right, so let's rock and roll now with exercise 20. So continuing on with stairs, now let's take on some 2-point stairs. So we're going to be looking at a turned view of stairs in 2 points. So we'll have a left vanishing point and a right vanishing point to work with, and also an inclined vanishing point built off of our right vanishing point. Okay, so in terms of the setup, I wanted to go ahead and get some positions located for you, and then you can copy them. So my piece of paper is 18 by 20, excuse me, 24, and I put the horizon line 9 inches, I believe 9 inches up. That's correct. So 9 inches from the bottom up. I put the horizon line, also the eye level across. Now I used a station point, and I found my left and right vanishing point based off 90 degrees of that station point, but I don't want to include all that. What I just want to have you do to match mine as best you can is put your left vanishing point 3 3/4 inches in from the picture plane, the end of the piece of paper, and put a dot there for left vanishing point. So that's 3 3/4 inches, and then put the right vanishing point 4 1/2 inches in from the end of the paper on the right. So 4 1/2 inches right vanishing point on the right, 3 3/4 on the left. Let's put our vanishing point that's inclined, let's make it off of our right vanishing point, and let's bring it up 4 1/8 of an inch. See if you can do that. 4 1/8 of an inch right there. That will give us our our vanishing point that is inclined. And remember, always decline or incline will be on the same linear vertical plane as the vanishing point that we're using, if it's left or if it's right in the case of 2 point. Okay, so I'll let you catch up to that. You can pause me, and then you can come back and catch up to me. Now I'm going to put the riser to the stairs a little bit off center, about, I don't know, here's center coming in. I'll put a dot right there so you can see it. Make sure you can see it. Let me pull in the camera just a little bit closer now. Since we've got that, let's pull that in. I think we can get everything we need there. I think that'll work even further. Yeah, there we go. All right, so I'm going to put a dot where I'm going to start the riser for my 2-point stair, and that's going to be about 1 inch in height. Okay, from the corner now of our 2 points. So I'm going to come up a little bit. Matter of fact, I'll go ahead and measure 1 inch so we can all be relatively confident that we're doing the same thing. So I'll measure 1 inch, put a dot there, and there we go. Okay. So what I need now is to take the riser here and go back now to the left vanishing point to get some depth. So we'll draw a diminishment from the top and bottom of this line back to the left vanishing point there, and then I'm going to arbitrarily cut off my distance of my riser back in space. Oh, probably about right there. So I'm going to put a dot to show you. You can match yours to mine. About right in here looks reasonable. So right there. Okay. And then of course I'm going to bring a vertical up there. So you're going to find that when working in 2 point, it's similar to 1 point about finding our slope, both to the top and bottom, back to a vanishing point that is raised, or in some cases lowered if you need a decline. Well, I'll show you more of that in upcoming lessons. All right, so we have our riser. Now what we need is a slope, or going to a slope, and we've already established that out here with our vanishing point that's inclined. So what we need to do now is draw 2 sets of diminishments to our sloped vertical inclined, if you will, vanishing point. So from the top of the stairs here over, and also now from the very bottom here as well, and on over to the inclined vanishing point. There we go. Now we've set in a slope here. Okay, and we can do the same thing on the other side. So we're still going to be using our level vanishing point when we use our treads, remember, but we use our slope to control when we're raising up, and how to cut off our heights and our links in depth, in perspective of our tread and our risers. It's really powerful as well. Okay, so there we go. Now, the next thing I'll do is go ahead and create the bottom of the stairs, and that's going to be level. So that goes back to our right vanishing point. And we'll end our stairs later on after we do, let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's at least go, excuse me, above the horizon line, or our eye level. Make sure we do that. Let's go above there so we can get both stairs that are on the ground and in the sky plane. All right, so I'm going back to the level vanishing point, in this case the right vanishing point, since we're more oriented to the right. Now we're on a side plane, we're moving left and we're moving right, but the bulk of the body, if you will, of the stairs is going to be moving to the right. So that's important to know as well. Okay, so now we're ready to start using our slope positions. Now, from these 2 points, the tops of our risers, we're going to go back to our level right vanishing point where they bisect our lower sloped blue line. That's where we're going to stop. That tells you how long our tread is going to be, and that's arbitrary. I haven't measured that. All right, so let's do that now. So we'll go back to here. We'll overdraw a little bit so you can see what's happening. You don't always have to go back and strike all the way, draw all the way across, but it doesn't hurt. Right here and right here is where we're going to get the end of our first tread. Right there. You'll see how they line up very nicely. So we'll draw through them right there. So there's our first true stair finish right there. And we're going to be duplicating that as we go up and up and up to finish out our stairs. All right, next step, we need our riser. So we can bring our riser over here. So from the corner here where the tread meets the riser, we draw verticals, true vertical, 90-degree vertical, straight up in 2-point. We're not in 3-point. Right there where it meets the slope for the riser. You can overdraw a little bit. There we are right there. I'm going to pull in a little bit so you can see it even better. Make sure you can see that. I'm going to pull the drawing board up a little bit too so you can see that as well. It'll help as well. I think we can get it all in. Let's see if I can move. I think we're okay there. That way we can get a little bit closer. So now that we can come in, we've got the standard set up. So now we'll go back to the left vanishing point where the risers meet our slope position. Boom, right there. And there is our next riser. Okay, so we have riser, tread, riser in 2-point. We're pushing this way and also this way now in our composition. Remember, I got my left and right vanishing point by setting out a station point, which was probably about, right down in through here at a right angle. Just keep that in mind. But I didn't want to go through all that. Let's find our next tread. You guessed it, by going back to our right vanishing point or level vanishing point. We'll draw a line, diminishment line through. Let's draw through just a little bit if you want to make sure it touches. Okay, nice and clean. And then from that ending point where it touches that blue slope line, understand now that this line locks us in to where our, in this case, our tread ends. Right there, that's where we find it, right there. Look at that, perfect. And we've got another riser. I think actually 2-point doing stairs actually is a little bit easier sometimes than 1-point. Ironically, you don't think it would be, but I think it is. So let's bring up another riser. We just ended another tread there. Let's bring up another riser here from the corner where it meets the corner up to control. We're controlled by that blue line that controls the slope, which is projecting and diminishing to our incline vanishing point. So there's one riser, our next riser here. I'll overdraw a little bit so we can find our best point. Right there. Up just a little bit for me, right there. There's our next riser. So now we've got the start of stair number 3. Okay, so let's now go back to our right finishing point to find our tread. Okay, there we go. Overdraw just a little bit there. Keep that pencil sharp. Sharpen away as you need to. Pause me when you need to. Right there where they touch, here and here. Right? That's our next ending of our tread. Remember, tread is where we step on. Riser is where we're going up to. We have to. It's an obstacle that we have to get over. And right there is where the tread ends. Bingo. Okay, and we're ready for our next riser. Pretty easy stuff. We're just making 2-point box forms that are controlled in depth and distance, right? By the left and right vanishing point. Since we're in 2-point, we're getting a distinct multi-side view, and then of course we have an inclined vanishing point based off our right vanishing point. You could have used it to the left if we were positioned the other way, or I could have done decline. It's just so much harder. Let's build a riser up. We'll overdraw a little bit. Let's build another riser up from that corner. There we go. Keep it light. You can draw much lighter than me and then darken in, but I have to draw a little darker for the camera. And then let's connect where our risers end, here and here. Right there. Bingo. There they are. We've got it. Let's find another tread. Now we're getting closer and closer to eye level, so the angle of our line gets closer to the horizon line right there. So there's our next line for our tread. There and there. We're only going to see a sliver of it now. So right here is where I'm looking for. Right there is where I'm looking for. That's where it touches. And then let's go back to the left vanishing point. Line up our points here. There and there. And let's find that cross. There we go. There's our end of our tread. And we barely see that right in our drawing. So let's build up another set of risers from those corner points up. Overdraw just a little bit if you need, right there and there. And then where they touch, here and here, right? That's where we're needing to go back to the left vanishing point. Those 3 points should line up pretty cleanly. Okay, if they're off by a 1/16 or less, you're just pencil letting it mostly. If they're off by a 1/4 inch or more, or even an 1/8, you're probably got a perspective problem. Okay, so there's our tread. Now, as we go back, or the end of our riser, now as we go back to find our tread again here, what's going to happen? Well, we're now above the horizon line, so we're above our eye line too, which they're one and the same thing, right? Let me label that over here, HL. This is the horizon line, and remember, it's still connected to our eye line because we're not looking up, we're looking down, our head's not tilted, we're not in 3-point. So, meaning now that as I draw a diminishment line here, it's angled slightly downward. Right there, it bisects there. And just barely now on the other side, just barely, look at that, look how tiny that is. And so that's where the end of our tread is. Now we'll line up our straight edge to those 2 points where they bisect the blue line, and that's where the end of our tread is right there. We really can't see that because the top part of the tread, the closest part of the tread, is above our eye line. But we need that. Why? We need it because we need to know where to bring up our riser, which is right there. This is our last riser here, okay? And let me line that up nice and clean right there to there, where it touches the blue line, our slope line. When I say blue line, that means the control of our slope. We're having nice control of the slope. We don't have to think about it anymore. Once we know it, you're shown it, you know that, you can do it from many different positions. It's truly, hopefully it will liberate you in your drawing and your sketching. All right, so we're lined up there for the end of our riser. All right, we'll overdraw a little bit, and there it is. Let me darken it in now so you can see it further right there. And right there, bingo. And that's the last one. Now let's go back to, let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's plain. Now let's go back to our right vanishing point to end down our stairs. We have a infinite diminishment till it disappears to rule number 1 to the vanishing point, and rule number 2 on the horizon line. Of course, this is rule number 3 using an inclined vanishing point. So let's take and let's end our stairs arbitrarily as deep as you want. You can make them really deep back here, but that makes a really long platform. Maybe visually, and maybe I'll just end it right here. It looks pretty good. Do it right through there. It's plenty of room to stand on top of that platform. And I'll darken it in. And congratulations, now you've got your first 2-point stairs. And I think for whatever reason, 2 points a little bit easier sometimes, I think, for students than not. So let's tone in a little bit here. Remember, we have, this is our riser, right, coming up right in through there. There's your riser, and of course this is your tread. And I'll put T for tread. And let me tone in. I'll just tone in the treads so we can see their difference a little bit here. Right there. There's 1 tread, right? 2 treads. 3 treads. Notice how their platform is getting less wide, getting squeezed. Why? Because we're going up, 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 up. Right? We're stepping up, and it's getting higher, higher, and getting closer to our eye level. Right here, this is real close. Here it's above. I can't even color that in. Why? Because we're stepping over that. So we could see, again, this is important to note, demarcate, is that we can see somebody's foot here, right? We could see somebody's foot here. I'm always breaking pencils. I'm always drawing too hard. Oh well, that's me. We're always seeing, we can see somebody's foot here. We can see somebody's foot right there. We can see another foot here, but just barely. We'll see the bottom. We'll see the whole foot. Here we can't see the bottom of the foot much, and here it gets even more disappeared. We can see a little bit of the foot right in through here. Maybe something kind of like that. If we just show a triangle of a foot, we'd only see about this part. That was a shoe. Maybe the leg would be coming up and through there. And so it starts to get even disappeared even further. That's important to notice when you start to draw stairs and draw figures in stairs later on. We'll get to that part later on in lessons in the future as well. Okay, so that is lesson number 20. 2-point stairs. We use a left vanishing point and a right vanishing point, or exercise 20, by the way. And we used an incline vanishing point to sit in our slope, which was arbitrary. We didn't measure the slope. It looks pretty natural to get a nice even slope tread riser ratio that is moving up to an inclined position of stairs. All right, so let's go on now to exercise 21. And this is going to be unique, where we're going to be looking, where we're standing up on stairs and then we're looking down and using a declined vanishing point. So that should be a little bit different for you. Okay, I'll see you for exercise 21. Exercise 21, we're going to be talking about declined stairs, as if now we're sitting, or standing actually, on top of some stairs and looking down in. So we're going to have a declined vanishing point. Okay, so now what have I've established here? I've already done a few things. I've established the horizon line, which is also our eye level. I'll go ahead and label that in. I put the horizon line a little bit higher from the bottom of the paper. My paper is 18 inches by 24. I put it 10 inches up from the bottom, so a little bit off center. So that's just 10 inches up here. Horizontally, always across, right? Nice and horizontal. True horizontal level. And then the vanishing point L, or level vanishing point, I went ahead and put in the center, which is 12 inches, half of 24, 12 inches here as well. So that's your setup, okay? So go ahead and get that set up and pause me and then come back, and then we can get started. So I'm going to continue on now. So what we need first is we're going to be building some stairs, and they're going to be converging to the level vanishing point, but they're also, we're higher up, so we're going to be going down. So we need slope diminishment control to a diminished vanishing point, or decline vanishing point. So what I'm going to do is we're going to put that decline vanishing point. I'm going to go ahead and show you and set that up. And remember, it's going to be vertically linearly oriented right here, always from the vanishing point. Now it's just going to go down, and I'm going to bring it down about 2 1/4 inches, so we can all be on the same page from my notes. So that means that a vertical line down from the vanishing point, 1, 2 1/4, 2 1/4 inches right there. I'll put a dot so you can see it, and then I'll start to come in more. a little bit later as we go further. That's 2 1/4 inches right there, and that is the V vanishing point decline, DEC for abbreviation. That's our decline vanishing point. That's going to be our slope control. That's our level vanishing point. So anything that's flush on the ground is here, and when we need slope control, we go to our decline vanishing point. Okay, so what we need now is to find one of our top risers that we are stairs that we're standing on. So we have to pretend like we can see through the stairs. You already know how to do that because we're looking through objects anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and bring down the center line. I'll show you why. And the reason why is, I'll bring it all the way down, is I want to put the stairs a little off center, the length of it completely, so it gives it a little bit of visual interest. So I'll make it a little bit longer on the right than I will the left. And I know that here's my center, so I'll make it a little bit longer here than here. So what we need now, let me draw this and then I'll show you, is I'm going to put a line now a little bit longer on the, again, on the right than the center. So here, and then come in maybe about right there. So we can tell that's definitely longer than that. What we need now is a riser distance. And so I think what I'll do is I'll show you, I'll just arbitrarily make that, I'm still in the picture plane, I'll make that about, this is totally arbitrary, so make it nice and big. How about 1.5 inches? So let's make it 1.5 inches. That'll be right there for me. Now, stay along with me. We're going to see through these. So I'm going to make these dotted lines, meaning that we cannot, or what I'm denoting is that if we were normally out in the world, we wouldn't be able to see through concrete or terrazzo stairs or whatever wooden stairs that they're made of. So I'm going to make a dotted line to denote that. So there's that dotted line there. And I'm going to do the same thing on the vertical here, coming down, connecting up. We're going to make a dotted line. Hang on with me because we're about to set in our slope control. Okay, so I made the stairs a little bit longer or wider on the right than I did the left, and here's our true center. Okay, so what we need now is we need slope control from the top of the riser here and here back to our declined vanishing point, and we also need it here and here, the bottom of our riser, back to our declined vanishing point. So let's do that now. I'm going to do mine and been using blue for a while, so I'll do that. So here is the slope control. Remember, we're going down. We're rising up. We're up higher, and now we're going to go down. We have to go to the decline vanishing point, not the level one, but the decline. There's a slope control there. Now we need it for the inside of our riser, here and here. So we'll line up the bottom of our riser through to the declined vanishing point. Rule number 4 in perspective. There's only 4 of them that I was taught. Very simple. Right there. There's our slope control. Now, the next thing we want to do, I'm going to go back to graphite, is what I want to do is begin to come out here from the top of our riser. We need something to step on, to be able to land on. So we need the tread to come out. How do we do that? Well, to show that tread, we need to go back to the level vanishing point. So from the level vanishing point, line up with the end of your riser here, right here, level vanishing point here and here, and go back until it ends out of the picture plane all together right there. Boom. Okay, so now we've got our feet on something that we have tangible. So from the level vanishing point to the top of the riser and on back and out, I'll draw it nice and dark so you can see it. I'll draw the end of this tread nice and dark where it meets the riser. And so now our feet are back. We can't see our feet, but we are on this tread looking out to the picture plane, right? We're out this way, looking out and over, right? And then, of course, we're going to be going down to a point, and we'll end it wherever we want. We'll do 1, 2, I've got my notes, 5 different treads. Okay, so now we're ready to start making more treads. in more risers, even though the risers will be going down in space. How do we do that? Well, I'll show you. Okay, so we've got our slope control. Now, from the bottom here of our riser, and let's start to let's see if I can go in a little bit. Don't want to go in too much. Make sure you don't miss anything. I think that's plenty. Let me rise up my piece of paper here a little bit. I think we've got that. We don't need that much, so I can go up a little bit. There we go. Okay, good. So now we can go from the bottom of our riser back to our level vanishing point where it strikes here, right? Draw a line. We'll draw through where it strikes. It's going to be pretty long. Right here, that's where our next tread ends, right there. So let's do the same thing from the bottom of the riser here back to the level vanishing point. We've already done our decline. Now we have to go to our level vanishing point. Okay, right there and there, line it up. Overdraw a little bit. And now we have points of reference on our blue lines. Line those up nicely right there and there. And there is our next tread in perspective. Look at that. Isn't that nice? And so I'll darken in this part that we would actually see there and there and here and here, right there. Okay. So now we have also our points for our risers. In this case, our risers, we've already got the top, so we're actually going to go down. And I'm going to do those in more of a dotted line so we can understand that we're looking through those concrete stairs just like we did here and here, right? Okay, so let's do that. So let's come over. And I'll line up my T-square and my triangle, and I'll just come on down with a dotted line, dotted line, dotted line. And where it meets our slope blue line, I'll stop. Same thing over here, dotted line, dotted line, dotted line. And where it meets our slope, our blue line, I'll stop there and there. And what do we do now? You got it. Horizontal line across, all the way over where they line up. And we're going to do another dotted line, you're right. Another end of the bottom of our riser where our tread inside where we can't see the tread meets the riser right there. Okay, so we know where to go. Now we know right here, this is crucial, right here and right here along the blue slope controlled line. This is where we know to go back to our level vanishing point for our third stair that we can do now. Once you get this visually, you got it, no problem. So we'll go from the level vanishing point, from this point on our slope line, out to the level vanishing point right there, where it touches the blue line. You can overdraw a little bit if you want, just for control. There and there, I'll overdraw just a little bit. Now where they meet up here, I think about right there, you have to be careful where they meet. That's why I like to overdraw, and then I put my T-square out there. Is I can really see where they're nice. They both touch that blue line equally for me. Now, horizontal line across, finish my tread right there, nice and dark so I can see it. You can see it. And then I'll darken in the parts of the tread going to the level vanishing point. We have two vanishing points, right? Even though we're in 1 point decline going down right there. And we're on our way. So we have 1, 2, 3 stairs. We have 2 more to do. And of course, we can continue to step down, step down, step down. And the tread is going to get visually smaller and smaller as we go further and further down. So now let's continue on. Let's bring down the riser. Dotted line usage, right? So we're going to go from here, and I'm going to pull this in so we can see this further. There we go, a little bit better. And I'll pull back out as we finish up so we can see all of our work. So from this corner we go back down. Dotted line, we're looking through the construction material where it touches the blue line right there. That's the end of our riser. Same thing over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. However many dotted lines you need where it touches the blue slope line. That's the end of the riser right there. And where they meet up, That's our dotted line for our beginning of the tread that we are looking through, or omnipotent, or all-powerful right through there, okay? And so that's where we know to begin our next tread. Okay, so from this point here, we go back to the level vanishing point. We draw a line where it meets up with our sloped controlled line. Right there, we stop, or we can overdraw, like I've done. And we'll do the same thing here. We'll draw through, overdraw a little bit. Right there, we're done. And then where they meet up nice and cleanly with our T-square, there and there, that's our next ending of our tread. All the way across, nice and clean horizontally with our line. There we go. And I can darken in the tread that we see here and also here. So we have now 4 stairs, and let's do one more. Let's do 5. Okay. So our next step is again to bring down our riser from the corner here all the way down to there. It kind of almost meets where that tread begins here or ends here. That's okay. 1, 2, 3, right there. Like a little bit before it actually. When you have a really tight pencil, it helps. 1, 2, 3 dotted lines right there, just slightly before, which is good, I guess. And then here's our tread beginning. Dotted line through all the way over. It tells us that we're seeing through it right there. And now we know where to draw. Those are important because that tells us where to draw our diminishment lines back to our vanishing point. So right through there. Draw through a little bit. Right through here. Draw through. And there you go. We've got our last end of our tread right there. And there we go. And there it is, right there. Okay, and let's darken in where we can see here and here. Okay, and so let's pull out a little bit now. Let's take a look at our work that we've done for exercise, I believe, 21. Yep, so there we are. Look at that. So now we've got, how many steps? We're on this one. We're coming down to 3, 4, 5. So step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and step 5. What's important about this lesson is we've controlled depth and distance in equal spacing. How? By a declined vanishing point. So the declined vanishing point, that was set in arbitrarily. I just gave the depth distance always from the vanishing point, either up or below, depending on if you want an incline or a depth. We set that in, and the blue lines are the lines from our riser that control the slope control in space, right? It's which tells us where we stop to give this equal depth and measurement for our slope control. So pretty nice. So we're stepping down right here, stepping down here, 3, step 4, and step 5. Of course, we could keep going until we wanted to as well. Pretty nice stuff. Okay, so that's exercise number 21. In your notes, in your perspective learning, in your perspective notebook, exercise 21, and that was declined stairs. Pretty powerful stuff. Okay, so let's go on now to exercise 22, and I'll demonstrate both declined and inclined stairs. So if you're walking up a platform of stairs to a level, right, and then you come back down, you'll need an inclined vanishing point and a declined vanishing point. So let's go on to that exercise number 22. We just got through with 21. Okay, I'll see ya. So here we are at exercise 22. This is going to be 2-point view of stairs. We're going to draw them in the ground plane, and we're going to use a incline and a declined vanishing point as well as our left vanishing point and our right vanishing point. So we'll actually have 4 vanishing points, 2 of which will be auxiliary. Right, we'll do our 4 fundamental setup. We'll do a full fundamental 4 of our setup, right? And then I'll show you the auxiliary vanishing points for incline and decline. We'll use rules number 1, 2, and 3, and 4 of perspective. Okay, so let's get started. Let's put the horizon line up at 9.5 inches, so a little bit higher than 9. So I've got an 18-inch piece of paper here. Let's go 9.5 inches. That's what I have in my notes. I don't know why 9.5, but I'm just going to go with it from my old notes, and we'll do that. So we'll bring that horizon line all the way across, and I'll go to the other side of my piece of paper here. There we go, all the way across. So there's our horizon line, which is also our eye level, of course. And I'll pull in a little bit as we get a little bit tighter with our project. So let's put our center of vision totally in the center here at 12 inches. We're at 24 length of the paper, so 12 inches in. That's going to give us our center of vision. That's not a vanishing point, so we're in 2 point, but that's our center of vision. Now I want to put a station point down here because I want to get a nice right angle from us, which is our station point, our 2-point station point, or 2-dimensional, station point. So we can get a nice right angle, 90 degrees from our left and right vanishing point. So let's put that station point, I'm going to demarcate it at 7 3/4 inches down. So if you'll follow along with me, what I'll just do is throw down a nice vertical line from the center of vision down, and then from that measure 7 3/4 inches downwards. So 7 3/4 inches right there. And so I'll put a little dot there. Remember, that's us. That's a little bitty us right there. That's the center of our head between our eyes right there. There's our station point, and that's 7 3/4 inches down. 7 3/4 inches. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'm going to set in, once we have our station point, let's go ahead and draw our cone in. Let's go ahead and do that. So let's get our 30-degree triangle out. Let's go ahead and put our cone in. Why not? I think that's a good thing. So we'll set that up from our center of vision, nice and abutted there, lined up with our station point coming out. There's 30-degree cone right there. And I'll just get one side because then I can take my compass and complete the other side. I kind of like to do that better because I don't have to measure as much. It's actually probably a little bit more easy and probably a little bit more accurate right there. So I'll line up my compass there nice and clean. There we go. Bring over my cone. Our 4th setup, and I'll bring it all the way over and across. And that's our 60-degree cone. Remember, 30 and 30 on either side gives us 60 across, and we could even split that down further and go to a 30-degree cone for even more accuracy, but 60 is standard right there. There's 60 degrees. So there's our cone coming out. Okay, there we go. Coming out that way. Whoops. Whoop, that doesn't look good, does it? Let's always do it right. Clean that up a little bit. That'll slow me down a little bit. Sometimes I go too fast, we get sloppy. We don't want to be able to be sloppy. So there we go. And I'll put a little arrow there for our cone coming out through. Okay, so we have that now. Now what I want to do is set in the first riser of our steps coming through, and then get a feel for the angle so I can set up my left vanishing point. I think that'll help a little bit too as well. So let's do that. Cut here. What I really want to do then is measure this. This guy is 1, 2, 3, 4 in. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, check that. I think it'll be easier on all of us, instead of setting it in, is to go ahead and I just measured where my left finishing point was. That's going to be easier. It is 4 inches in from the picture plane on the horizon line, so I'll put a dot there. This will make it easier. So right there's 4 inches in. That's my left finishing point right there. Okay. Then I'll come in back to our left vanishing points here. From our left finishing point through our station point, right? Then we'll come through at 90 degrees to get our right vanishing point. Okay, we've done this before, so we set up our triangle along that construction line right at our station point, abut those together. I have my 90-degree triangle right there, and that gives us on the other side, bingo, right there, our right vanishing point. So I'll label that as well. So there's my graphite pencil, there's my right vanishing point here, and if you want to just measure it from the end of the paper over, what is that? That is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sixteenths if you want to do that. I prefer doing it this way because we get a nice true right angle. You don't even have to think about measuring. So there's our right angle there. And there we are at 90 degrees. Of course, this is 30 with our cone. This is 30 here, right? So 30 and 30, and then total everything across, right, is 60 degrees, always. It's always good to refresh and continue to do our setup. Not a bad idea. Okay, now we know where I want to go with our vanishing points. Now the next thing I want to do, I want to jump ahead a little bit. I've already established the heights for our incline and our decline vanishing point, and they're both going to be equal distance from the horizon line, and they're both going to be 4 inches. So what we need is a vertical line. I'm just going to draw an arbitrary one nice and high up and overdraw a little bit. Here's why. Is I'm going to set the incline vanishing point 4 inches from the horizon line, 4 inches from our left vanishing point up. Put a point there, and that is our vanishing point INC for incline. And I'm going to do the same thing now down below, and that's going to be, and that's 4 inches down from our left vanishing point. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4 right there. I'll put a dot, and that's our VP, and I'll put DEC for decline in English. So we have our incline vanishing point and our decline vanishing point, so I know now where I can get good slopes to go from. Okay, so we've got that. Now we're ready actually to draw stairs. All that for stairs, right? Okay, I'm going to come in a little bit with the camera so we can get a little closer understanding, high def understanding. We don't need our station point so much anymore. We won't reference that. We'll be mostly inside the cone, pretty close to it. So I think we can get away with a view of about right, let's see, about right there should do us. That should be clear for you. We're here for clarity. I don't want to be obscure. Okay. So now I'm going to place my first stair, my first riser, if you will. And it's kind of going to be about an inch up from the end of our cone here and about a ½ inch over. So if you really want to get a placement for it, so about an inch up relatively and about a ½ inch over right there. I'm just going to put a little dot just to show you. And then I'm going to come up with my first riser. Let me get a better, smaller triangle. The right triangle size matters too. You're probably starting to learn that. So about right here is a good size. So that's my first riser. Now I'm going to go back to the left and the right vanishing point first for a level platform here, right? And also here, that's going to be the level platform. These stairs, the body of the stairs are going to be a little bit more oriented, moving as a body to the left, even though we'll be using the left and the right stairs. Okay, so we'll go here, back to the right, vanishing point for our riser and our platform will be something like that. Okay, so I'll leave that. Now I'm going to cut off the distance here for now. I want to do that. And so I'll cut off the distance about right here. I'll put a dot there, and we need a vertical coming up there. So we need a vertical there, and we'll come up there. Okay. And then now I'm going to shoot a series of diminishment lines back to the left vanishing point here, and also back in through there. Okay, so we've got that. I'm going to darken in this riser a little bit because we'll see that completely. I want you to make sure that you see that nice and fully right in through there. All right, there we go. Good to go. So we have that riser set in and complete. So let me erase that a little bit. Okay, so now we need, you're probably guessing right, we need slope management. So we're going to start with our incline vanishing point first. So I'll get out my blue pencil, my hard edge. So from both of our risers, we've done this already, from the top and bottom of the riser, let me sharpen my pencil too. We're going to go back to, or go to the inclined, the vanishing point. Incline from the left. So we're using our left vanishing point in this case for incline and in our decline. And remember, these are equal distance from each other. So we're going to go from our bottom riser up to our incline vanishing point, the top of the riser here, up to our incline vanishing point. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side, top and bottom, however you want to do it first. There and there. All right, so now we have some slope control, okay? And then when we go up, we're going to build, let's see, 1, 2, 3 stairs in the platform, and then we're going to need slope control going back down. I don't know exactly where I'm ending yet because I haven't measured it. That's okay. It's more arbitrary. And that's one way of doing it too. Okay, now we're ready. So we're going to go from this point back to the left vanishing point. Well, we've already done that. Right here, right there is our first tread control right there. Same thing right there. So from that point, I'll go back to the right vanishing point. Let me see if I can come in now a little bit even closer. Let's see. A touch more, there we go. How about that? Even closer is better. There we go. All right, so from the end of our tread here, back to our right vanishing point. I'll line that up nice and clean. Get my dots here a little bit bigger, so that's a little slightly off there. Overdraw a little bit. There's our riser, so our tread. So I'm going to trace that in a little darker here and here so you can see that. Nice and clean. There we go. Now we know where our next riser goes. So from that point, we want to go up. From here up, I'll overdraw a little bit. That's where a riser goes. I'll overdraw a little bit right through here to that point, through that point, through to the right vanishing point. That gives us our dimension right in through there. And you can see I'm just a little bit off. My dots were bigger earlier. So I just kind of correct that, move them in closer a little bit. So we're there, right there. Okay, there's our ending of our riser, the beginning of our tread. Now I can darken that in. This is step number 2. We're going to do 3 and then the platform. Here and here. And I'll darken this in here. There we go. Okay. Now we go from these points, from the end of our risers, where? Back to the left vanishing point, which is level. But since we're in 2 point, that's our left diminishment. We're level here. Left vanishing point's level, right vanishing point is level. So back to there, where they meet our next slope controlled line, right there. I'll overdraw a little bit. Back to the other side, right, where they meet our next slope controlled line, right through there. We'll stop. So I overdrew a little bit to get those in. There we go. Right there where they meet up. Bingo. There's the end of our tread. Right there. See how nice and controlled that is? You could do stairs all day long. Well, maybe not, but you get the idea there. And here we are here. Coming back in, bingo, there we go. All right, so let's do, and of course we've got that finished. Now let's do one more riser, and we know how far to go vertically because our slope there tells us that's where we want you to stop with our slope control. That's what the power of incline and decline, I'll show you in a moment. Rule number 3 and rule number 4 perspective comes into play. It's really powerful stuff. Okay, so from the end of our tread up to our riser, up, up, up. We'll overdraw just a little bit. Same thing over here, up, up, up. Stop, and then, whoops, there goes my triangle on the floor. And now I've got it back. Here we go. So from the right vanishing point where they touch our below slope line, let those meet up. There we are. I'll overdraw just a little bit. Right there. Bingo. Okay. And there we go. Isn't that nice? Got a nice clean set there. So we've got 1, 2, 3 steps, and then we're going to make a platform, and then we're going to come down and find our decline slope in a moment. All right, so let's do one more step. So we need control now of how far our tread goes. So to the left finishing point, stop right there. Here we go over here to the left finishing point. Stop right there, bingo. That slope control really works. You can't, it's hard to do stairs without that. And now you might think, okay, now what happens when I just freehand sketch later on, which is, this is the point of everything, is to see structure. Well, you have a good idea of what you're doing and where to stop and how that slope is controlled. Guarantee it. You start to visualize this stuff in your mind, and you can see it and create it when you need there. And then our tread overdraw there a little bit darker, and there we go. Now we've got 3 steps. Let's build another riser, and then we're going to make our platform a little bit longer, and then we're going to come down to our decline. So we're going to go up, walk level for a little bit, and then come down on these stairs. Okay, so let's go up to our next riser from here up to our slope control. I'll overdraw just a little bit, just for accuracy's sake. And then from the right vanishing point through, those 2 points there, right there. There we go. Bingo. There they are, right there. And that's the top of that stair. And now I'm going to go back to the left vanishing point here. But I'm going to overdraw further since we're going to make this platform longer than our normal treads, since it's a top platform. How long do we want to make it? It's up to you. I'll make mine, I'll put just a visual thing, maybe about right here. So I'll put a dot there. Okay, I'll put a dot right there. That's how far I wanted to make it. I could have gone shorter, could have gone longer. And so again, from that point of ending, arbitrarily I go back to the right vanishing point. Okay, I'll draw all the way through and over, and where it touches the end of my stairs right here, not over here, but right there, that's the end of my stairs. And now let me darken that in so we can see that a little cleanly, a little clearly here, and now to there. Now we're on our way. Now we got a problem. I need a riser here so I can go back to my decline. How do I know that? It's already done for me right here. So what I need to do now through here, and I'll show you something. We can bring all these points over, these risers over. Watch this. So we can bring this riser and also tread over. We can bring this one over. Okay, to the left vanishing point. Make sure you line up your rulers there. We can bring that over. We can bring this over, and we can bring. We've already got that over. Now we need from here, right? We need slope control down. How do we do that? We can't go from here up and over because we know where our tread is. Let me put. Excuse me. We know where our riser is right here. Okay. We can't go back up. This is why we have a decline. We can't go back. We need a decline to help us out. Well, we have one, luckily. And, by the way, it is the same distance up as down here. Those are equal distances. I'll put over here equal. Equal and equal. Equal spaces. Okay. Let me sharpen up my pencil. And then I'll get out my blue pencil. And let's put some decline slope control. And we can finish these stairs out. We can have decline and incline. So, from our risers now, top and bottom on this side, you guessed it, we're going to go down to our decline vanishing point. So from here downward, okay, line it up nice and cleanly and accurately. From here down, okay, and then the same thing from the top of the riser there to our vanishing point, right there to there, and downward. There we are. Now we have slope control that tells us where to end along here. Pretty fascinating stuff. Now, let's finish this out. Let me come in a little bit closer so you can see this even better. So we'll come over. Okay, I think that'll give us plenty. So watch how this goes. All right, so we have now the riser. We need the tread coming over, so we know how far we need to go now. We have slope control. So from this point back to the left vanishing point, it's already done for us a little bit right there, right? We go all the way over until we meet our slope controlled line right there. Boom, bingo. Now we go down for our riser here, right there, till it meets up. See how it meets up nicely right to there? Pretty accurate, not bad. I was a little bit 16 off, that's not bad with our lead thicknesses. Then we go back to our left vanishing point since we're level, right? Back to here, we stop. Okay, that's our next one. Then you guessed it, we bring that down nice and vertical right to there. There we go. Where that meets up our blue line. And we go one more. We go over to our left vanishing point, back over to meets to there. Yep, and then we have one more to do. Nice and perpendicular now. There we go, nice and vertical right there where it meets up. And there's the length and end of our stairs, and also where our treads and our risers are controlled now in slope and in perspective. Now we have one more thing to complete right over here. What are we missing? We're missing the showing of that little sliver of treads. Our right vanishing point is where we need to go back. So from these points here, here, and here, we need to go back to the right vanishing point to finish those out. So here, lining up, right vanishing point to there, go back, there we are there, okay, and we'll do the same thing over here, bingo, right there, and we'll do the same thing now over here, bingo, right through there, there you go, and we'll go back to the right vanishing point there, and now we see steps coming over here so we can step down and over. So let's shade these a little bit. Let's shade all the treads. We'll do that. I'll start on the back end over here so you can see that. There's a tread there, there's a tread there, and there's a tread there. Of course, the platform is a larger tread, of course, right through there. And we'll lighten this up a little bit. There we go. There's a tread, and there's a tread here. Notice how they're at eye level. Now this one's longer. Why is that? Because we extended the length for the platform. Platforms are generally longer. Now these treads get a little wider. Why? Because they're lower. Our eye level horizon lines here, we're looking slightly down now. Our head's not tilted, but they're lower now from our eye level. And of course they get wider and open up a little bit further. So very, very nice kind of thing. So if I wanted to draw a center here and kind of show you riser tread manipulation, I could find the true center by crossing X. Remember that right there and there. So we have that right. And then I can bring up that vertical from that center, which is right there where they meet. So there's our riser right? And then our tread goes back to the left. In this case, vanishing point, right? And there's where we want to manipulate another riser here. Okay, and then emphasize our tread. It's like contouring in perspective. And then another riser, right? And then another tread. Tread is what we walk on. Riser is what the obstacle coming up. That's why you get exercise when you walk upstairs. There, and on over to there. It gives us that, whoops, that direction there. All right. It wouldn't be a video of mine if I didn't break a pencil in each video. Maybe that's something I should shoot for, is to break a lead in each video. Goodness gracious. All right, so there we go. It's like making two now distinct sets of stairs. So as well, we could find the center of this too as well. How would you find the center? It's like, wait a minute, would I find it here? Yeah, you could do that, or you could just use this center block here. So watch this. So this acts like over here, from here to here. This little point here acts like a center. It could be from everything. It's just the smallest one. It's easiest to manipulate. So I can just not even have to draw as much. Just do a small crossing X and where they bisect right there. That's the true center, right there. And then, of course, I could draw a straight line right through them vertically from that true center in perspective now. And that's the true center of our stairs. So there you go. That's exercise 22. We did a set of stairs that go up, incline, and then now they come down to a decline. So we used an incline vanishing point and a decline vanishing point, which, by the way, is rule number 3 and rule number 4. This is rule number 1 and 2, both of these right vanishing points. And remember, they're level. So anytime that we're drawing something level, we use the left and the right vanishing point. So there it is, exercise 22, inclined and declined stairs on the same drawing. So I'll just put stairs, exercise 22, and I'll put incline, INC, and DEC, decline there. All right, so exercise 22. Now let's go on to exercise 23, and what is that going to be? Let's see, look at my notes. Oh, we're going to do some measuring. I'll show you a quick, simple, slightly different measuring technique for stairs as well. Okay, so on to exercise 23. Exercise 23, and 23A and 23B. We're going to do two different exercises in 23, and they're both going to be measuring. So we'll do measuring of stairs. A little bit different technique. I'll show you how to do that with a measuring ground line or vertical measuring line to measure risers, and then you get the treads that you get from the measuring and where you're positioned from your vanishing point. So that's another way to do it, and I'll show you that. So let's go and measure from the bottom of your piece of paper. Again, mine's 18 by 24. Let's go 9. In my notes, I have 9.5 inches up, so just a little bit off center. So 9.5 inches up, and then of course all the way over for your horizon line. So we'll do that. So that's the horizon line, and it's also our eye line. So I'll label that HL/EL, horizon line, eye line. And I'm going to put, we're going to do a 1 point stair here. I'm going to put the vanishing point along, obviously, at the horizon line, but let's do it 8 inches in. So we'll be a little bit off center. So right there, 8 inches in, I'll put a VP right there. So that's 8 inches in. I'll let you catch up to that. And then we're going to also have an inclined vanishing point. And let's put the inclined vanishing point at about 4 inches up from our first VP, which is our VPL. That sounds odd. Vanishing point level, so vanishing point VPLE level. If you understand VPL, you know that joke, American joke. Sorry about that. Wasn't intentional. Then we're going to go up, draw a line, vertical line up, and let's go 4 inches up right there. So 4 inches, and that's going to be our vanishing point incline. So INC for incline. Okay, so vanishing point level and vanishing point incline. Okay, so we're gonna draw one riser and we're gonna put it over here. So our stairs are gonna be going back this way. So they're a little off center so we can see a side plane. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put down, just extend this center line or center of vision here. Just bring it down some, about right here. Feels pretty good. And then I'm gonna bring it over about, I don't know, 3 inches or so to about right there. And that's where we're gonna put the bottom of our stair across, right in through there. So I'll kind of run this over about, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 inches. That looks pretty good from my notes. Okay. So 6 inches, I just brought the center line down and about 3 inches over, just so your drawing can align to mine as best it can. And so the bottom of this stair will be about 6 inches long, okay? Then over on the right side, I'm gonna put a vertical line through here. We're gonna do a little bit of measuring, up a little bit, like so, and we're gonna do our scale here is going to be, I'll do it over here. So scale will be 1 inch, 1 inch equals 1 true foot in length, or whatever feet is in meters, etc. As well. Now let me show you what that means. I'll do this over here. So let's set our scale in over here. So along this vertical line, we'll do four stairs. So I'll make a mark over here that's 1 inch, measuring through 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, so we have 0 and 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if we really wanted to do our length over here and get this accurate, and so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, and that would be 6 over here. So 6 length, 6 feet by 1 feet. Okay, so now what we can do is we set in our first longer tread there of our bottom here, and right over. There we go. I'll darken that in so you can see it. It's really a pretty simple idea actually. Right here. And we could do a lot of videos, but I'll just give you the idea. Then you can use it creatively. All right, so we have that. Now what I can do is go ahead and set in the side now. Go back to our level vanishing point since it sits on the ground right here. We want to set that platform down. That's really important there. So that'll sit there. Okay, now we need slope control. Now you know how to do that already. And so we're going to control the risers by going back to the left vanishing point. So what we really need is slope control right in here for our tread length. So we're going to go from 0 here to our inclined VP. So from the bottom here up to here, here to here, and we're going to go to our inclined VP right there. Nice and accurate, right on through there. And that's going to set in our tread control. Now I'll show you why. So what we can do here is do something a little bit different than we haven't done before. Let's go ahead and draw lines, our risers, all the way back to our level vanishing point each time. Watch. Here, and then we can already do that to expedite things. To the level vanishing point there, and also to there. And that's going to give us where our platform will start in through there. All right, so we've already got tread control and riser control. How do we do that? Well, okay, let's come over here and let's draw back to the level vanishing point. We'll need that over here too. There we go, right there. Okay. All right, so now you can start to understand where this touches. We can start to bring the end of our tread over to here. Bingo. Right there. And there we go. Bingo. There's the end of our tread. And we can control that in. We don't even need slope control on the other side. Now you could go through that, but this could expedite that. And I'll show you how and why. All right, so watch this. So we'll bring up now our riser from that point up. We know that's now another foot. Now you're thinking, wait a minute, so these are all equally spaced. Okay, they're 1 foot. Are they the same length as here? No, because they're going back in perspective. That's what perspective does for us. Since we're drawing diminishment lines, these are still 1 foot, but now they're diminished. They'll get diminished and diminished further. Why? Because they're further away from us. So where that touches there, right, there's our riser. Got our riser control right there. And so we can bring this over. We've already got that point there where these meet up right there. Bingo. There's the end of our stair. Our riser meets our tread right there. Okay. Now we'll go back. It's already done for us right there. Along there is where it ends. I'll just darken it in so we can see that. Right till there, to there. It's another way to measure. We've done one measuring technique. We're just doing an abbreviated one. So we go from there. We'll just bring that on up and over, right in through there, right in through. And we go from this point back to our level vanishing point right there, and bingo, there's our end of our next tread right there. So there's a few different ways to do things, and sometimes you use different ones for different techniques. You can abbreviate. All right, so let's go up with our riser here. This is another foot. We stop right there in perspective. Okay, then we can bring that over. I overdraw a little bit right there. See how easy that is? And we'll bring our last riser, or next riser right there. That's where we end it, right there. And I'll darken that in so you can see it. Bingo, right there. And then now our slope is controlled right here. We stop right there. Nice slope control right through there. And it was arbitrary. I set it up there about 4 inches. And then we bring our next riser up, stop where it meets our true measurement. Okay. And then we can do the ending of our tread in our riser there and there. We can just bring both of them over now. So now we need here to here, right there where they meet up, where the riser ends and our tread begins. That length is right there. Then we can just darken that in with a darker line where they meet up. Okay. Then I can bring up my riser here. There we go. And on over. There we go. And now, because I don't have any links. Now what I could do is how far do you want your platform? Well, I'll show you. Watch this. We can go and say, okay, I want it to be 2 of these lengths. Well, let's get out our measuring line and let's go back to our measuring line. Let me draw a little bit more vertical up. Okay, so what happens now? Each one is a foot, so we can go 2 in. Right, so we go, I make a mark here, that's 5. We make a mark here, that's 6. So these stairs are going to be as high, right, as they are wide in that sense. So there's 6. Okay, 6 can go back now to our level vanishing point right there, here to here, just slightly eye level right in through there. Okay. So we have 5 here, back to our level vanishing point here and here. Okay, we have that. So we could bring back, well, that's not going to do us because we're going to have to hit our slope line. It would be right here and then over. So we're going to have to bring it across this line, which wouldn't work for us. Now I see. I messed that up. Cut. Okay. Five, 4, 3, 2. All right, so disregard these numbers over here. I was going to make more steps, then I decided not to. So I edited that part out. So let's just end out how far we want our stairs to be. We'll just do that arbitrarily. We want a nice, probably a longer platform. So what I'm going to do is bring this line over here and through like so, and I think I'll end it way back here. Okay, so I'll bring horizontal line over, right in through there, and then where that meets up with my diminishment right here, back to my level VP right there. Bingo, where they meet up, here and here, that's the end of this platform. Nice longer platform to stand on, right in through there. It could be some kind of award stairs. These are just diagrams to, or illustrations to, and exercises to start to see more fundamental understanding of perspective. All right, so now what we do to finish it out, we bring down our vertical, true vertical to the end of our stairs, right there to our bottom line and through there, and then I'll darken that in, and there we go. So we have a 6 foot wide series of steps with 1 foot high risers as well. All right, so let's darken in our risers in this case. All of these are 1 foot, but now they're 1 foot in perspective. And so we measure them out really quickly. It's kind of an abbreviated way to use sloping too, and also have some nice measuring techniques as well. So remember when we did our measuring back in our earlier exercises, we could use this technique too as well. We did actually really a little bit controlled our risers and also the ending dimension of the depth of our stairs. So there we go. All right. Okay, so there you go. Exercise 23A now. This is 23A. I'll put that over here. 23A, and that's measuring of stairs. Measuring of risers very quickly. All right. All right, there you go. So let's go on now to exercise 23B, and we'll do a little bit different technique with a baseline, and we'll do incline and also declined as well. Okay. Exercise 23B, we're going to be using now a baseline to do some equal distance measuring and apply that to a 2-point incline platform and a decline stair situation. So this will be a little bit different than you've seen before. So this is exercise 23B. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is establish the horizon line. I'm going to do it with 10 inches up from the bottom, not 9, but 10. So 10 inches up. I'm on an 18 by 24 inch piece of paper, unless otherwise different. I say differently. Then we'll have horizon line all the way across there, bring it all the way across. And I've already arbitrarily set up a station point beforehand, and so I'm just going to give you those measurements. So I'm going to do, I've set in the vanishing point, the left vanishing point at 3.5 inches from the end of the left edge of the paper. So 3.5 inches. That's where the LVP. Now to do that again, you just have a station point where I put it, but I'm just going to make it easier for you. So that's 3.5 inches in, 3.5 inches there. And then on the other side, it's 2 3/8. So I measure in 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3. That's 3/8 right there. So there's the right vanishing point right there. So left vanishing point and right vanishing point. So now we're kind of good to go for our composition. Now the first thing I want to set in is the edge of where the riser, or actually we're going to be drawing a platform first. So I'm going to set where the edge goes left and right. So I'll show you what that means. So I'm going to put a dot about right there, right into there. And I'm going to come in a little bit now. I think I can come in, since we've got our abbreviated, that's an abbreviated setup, I think, right there. We'll do pretty nicely. So we've got our right vanishing point left. That's what we need. All right, so what I'm going to do now is create a platform of stairs here, or just the bottom platform left, okay, and now we're going to go back right through here, kind of like so. So left and right, we've got that. All right, so we've got that. Now we're going to be creating, that's a little bit sloppy over here, make sure I clean that up for you. Always want to keep it nice and clean. So I'm going to be creating now a ground line, a measuring line from this particular corner right in through here. So we're going to have a horizontal line coming from this point here over, right in through there. And we're going to be creating increments of one inch across there. So I'll let you catch up. Let me sharpen my pencil, sharpen yours if you need it. Pause the video. And of course, when you know it, my pencil broke, so there we go. All right, nice and sharp. So we're going to be making 1 inch increments from this point here. This will be point 0. Okay, so I'll line up my measuring ruler here. This will be point 0. So there's an increment there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, so we've got measurements across there. So I'm going to need, let me check my notes for a second. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I'll need 11. But we're going to do something a little bit different. So we're going to have 0, we're going to have 1 here, 2, just follow along with me, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to have our platform be from 4, 5, this is 6, 5. So across here, I'm going to do something here, I'll show you. Right here, put a little extra arrow in through here, and this is going to be P for our platform right in through here, okay? So, and then we'll have 7, 8, 9, 10, so we need equal space 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 10 will be our ending point right in through here. Or you could go 0 to 4 there if you want, but I have 0 to 10. All right. Okay, so now what 10 tells us over here is where our total platform will end here, and then we'll get a measurement through there and over. So I'll show you how we're going to take that through there. Okay, so we're going to now come over and get my longer ruler. Here it is, right in front of me. And so we're going to come over from 10, and we're going to go back to our right vanishing point through here. So from 10 all the way over, and then we want to make sure we go through here. Now we don't have a distance over here. I could create an arbitrary distance over here. I'll create it about maybe a little bit longer so we can see this even better. So about right here, you can just kind of match yours to mine. So I'll put a dot there, and that's where we're going to put that down there through here. Now I could have done that. I could keep going on this side and go back to the left, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to abbreviate for time because it doesn't really matter. There we go. Left, okay. Where they meet up, that's the platform that we're going to be putting our stairs on, our 2-point platform there. Okay, so we have that. Now we need to draw back from these units of measurement, okay, across this line here of our stairs so that we can start to get where our stairs will bisect and come up from. So from 1, we'll go back to our right vanishing point, or you can make a mark here if you want, right through there. We've done this before. 2, right through there. I'll put an extra dot so you can see it. So we can get these same equal distances on our measured, on our stair line, going back in space to the left vanishing point there. There's 3, then 4, right there. You notice how they get remarkably smaller as they're diminished now in space. So there's 5, right through there. So you can see that. Let me pull out so you can see that a little bit. Okay, and we'll go 6. This connects us to an earlier exercise. Gives it a little bit more proper meaning right through there, with a more complex set of forms to draw. There's 7, So now I know where these equal spaces are now in perspective. Right, there's 8. And there's 9. Of course, we've already got 10. There's 9. Right, and there's 10. Okay, so we've got that locked in. All right, so we're good to go there. Now we can create stairs in terms of how high we want them, and create this little tower of a platform first, and then find our slope. We won't. This is interesting about this exercise. We won't necessarily have the sloping vanishing point. They'll be created actually automatically. So we're going to take point 6 and 4 over here. Just find it along here, right there, 6 and 4, and we're going to come up now vertically. Right. So from 4 up, I'm going to go past the horizon line, pretty good distance through there. Same thing now with 6. 6 is here, right there, so it's 2 marks there and up, nice and through there. Okay. There we go. Okay. Now, what we want now is from this. Let me brought this a little bit higher. There we go. From this point, we'll say this is the apex now of the height of this platform, right in through here. So I'm going to demarcate it there with my pencil. Now we want to go from here back to our left vanishing point. So from here back to the left vanishing point. There we go, where they connect. That's the end of our platform. So it's a pretty thin platform. And then of course we'll go back now to the right vanishing point on this side, over through here and over. It'll give us that. We can keep going over here too, actually. That'll be not a bad thing. On over. Okay, now, here's why we don't need inclined vanishing points, even though they're there and they're applied. We're going to go from, I'm going to make these demarcated very strongly so you can see them. So from this point here, I'll make an arrow nice and clean from this point here, okay? And of course these points, or you could say we're going to come up through this point here, and then where this incline meets up, you'll see where we're going to bring a vertical up here in a moment too as well. So I'll show you the first thing I'm going to do, because it's already done for us. Here to here, there's our slope, right through here. So from that top point of our kind of our pyramid stairs through here, I'm just going to go through a little bit further so you can see that there's our incline. Okay? Well, if we could use our left vanishing point, that's going to give us, it's going to be terribly, terribly hard to find. Okay? We can't do it from our right. So what we can do is come across down below and bring this tower up all the way through. So a little bit different methodology for a little bit different look. So we're going to bring 4 over, all the way over to here, right? And we're going to bring our point for our measurement 6 all the way over to here, okay? And then you guessed it, we're going to bring those up. So now we have to take these 2 points and we're going to go up. It meets here on the outside, okay? Now I don't know where that's going to meet over here, so I need to finish out the perspective on this side. So from here back to the left vanishing point, right through here, okay? And then from this point back to the right vanishing point, which would give me the top of that part of our stairs. A little bit different way of doing things. I think you should see that. Right in through there where they meet. And so that'll meet up with the bottom grounding of, right in through here, of our stairs, right there. There we go. Let me clean that up a little bit. Right through there. Make sure we get that more accurate. That's pretty good. Okay, so now we know where at the point of doing that, we had to find that point for our slope and this point back and through here. So now we have all our slope points. Let me point them out to you so I can slow this down so you can see this lesson. Right here, here's another slope point. So this slope here is the same as here, but at a different angle because of the depth. It's got further to go to that incline vanishing point, which we haven't drawn. Here to there, right? I'll draw through so you can see kind of where it's going to. It's got further to go. Now these 2 points here and here would be decline uses right there, right there. Let me really demarcate them so you can see it here and here, so you can see it in there, right? There would be decline vanishing points, which are pretty far down below too as well. I can't get them on the page, right through here. So we'll use this as a slope through there, okay, and through there. And what's intriguing about this methodology too is this is where our center is in perspective. It should be. It should meet up with number 5 too as well, I believe, if I'm being fairly accurate. Let's see, 5. Yeah, see how it meets up? So right there, and right there, they meet at the apex of that slope. That's another way you could find it, is just draw it through that center, but they meet right there, the apex of that slope. Okay. So that's a lot of work, right? But we're finding this platform slope of our stairs, again, in another measured way, in a 2-point way. I'm going to darken this in so you can see it, because this is going to stay dark. This is the top of our platform, right? Here and also through here. Okay. Now, we're going to be cutting into this a little bit. Here's where we start, right here, with our first riser. Right in through here. Now we have to go up vertically until we meet our slope. Okay, so we're going to go up here until we meet our first slope. Right in through there. So these are going to be pretty long and tall. And then we're going to bring that all the way over. Okay, here and all the way over to our left finishing point, because we can get the other side with it as well. Pretty nice, right in through there. From this point back to the right finishing point, both top and bottom will stop where the slope meets here. Okay, and here, right there, down below. And that'll give us our riser. That'll give us the same thing on the right side as we have the left back here in space. There we go. All right. So there's number 1 in through there. Now we can create 2. Do the same thing. We can bring that up. Okay, we can bring 2 up here to there's where it starts, up to our slope, which is pretty high for stairs. It's pretty high right in through there. Okay, we can stop there, bring it back to the left vanishing point, nice and light through, all the way through and over. It's important to bisect this blue line. It'll give us help as we finish out later on. Right in through there is the end of our tread. So this is like Mexican pyramid stairs. There's a very high slope to these. I could probably would have been better to make them a little bit less of a riser, but that's okay. No big deal. All right, so we have, that's a little bit thick there. That's okay. Now from here we want to go back to our right finishing point. Okay, and over through here. Here we want to go back to our left finishing point. Let me get my longer ruler so we can get our tread finished out right here to here. There we go. Right to there. Now we're working. Okay, so we can bring this point to the right finishing point here. Stop where it meets the slope. That'll help right through there. Then these will connect up, and that will give us a stair in through here. Right there to there. Bingo, right there. So those are pretty steep. Those are pretty steep stairs. If you've ever been to the Mexican pyramids outside of Mexico City, just north, you know what I'm talking about. It could be a little devilish, or any kind of probably ancient stairs. They were pretty dangerous. Okay, so let's bring up from 3 here. Let's go up a little bit now from here, and let's go up till here. So that's where we can bring the end of our tread in over through there. Okay, and so let's bring that over, and let's go back to our left finishing point over here. Okay, over to our LVP, all the way through a little bit. Here's where our tread ends. I can make that a little stronger so you can see that, see what we're looking at here. Could actually bring this measurement line up and through like so. Okay. So we'll go back to our right vanishing point to finish our tread out. That'll line up there, right in through there. There we go. Okay. That line there very nicely. All right. So now we need to go up. Okay, from 3. All right. So we'll go up to here. There we go, right through there. Okay, we'll end it. We end where we meet our slope, and then back to our left vanishing point. Kind of clear it all the way through here. Make sure these clear out a little bit over through. Now we'll go from here back to our right vanishing point. Here we go. Come through a little bit. So now we'll follow along. We need to come up. That tells us where our slope ends, right? A little bit further out. There we go. Right there. Okay. Let me get a little bit thicker there. Pencil's a little bit thick. There we go. Right in through to there and there. There we go. This needed to be higher a little bit. I was off a little bit. So sometimes you make sure you hit your, see right in through here is a good teaching example. This is off a little bit because this needed to come a little bit higher in through there. I mean, sometimes when you make bigger dots, you have to be careful. It's close enough. That's okay. If you make little errors like that, that's okay. But you don't want to make too many of them like I did. Actually, it's probably best if I erase it. That's a good teaching point to show you. I do that sometimes too. So this is actually needed to go a little higher so that could come up to that, meet that vertical through here. And you wind up kind of fudging it. Sometimes I do that just because it's not that important. If it's less than a 16th off, it's no big deal, like a 32nd. But here it was off too much to work with. All right, so what I mean by that is we come up, this vertical needed to come up a little bit high, about to there. Really, that's where it touched right in through there. Then we could come back to our right vanishing point, which is going to change a little bit here and over, which makes more sense. Right in through there and through, and that connects up nice and much cleaner right in through there. There we go. Okay. So from this point, now we're above eye level, so we want to go to our left finishing point here, okay, and over, right in through there. Same thing over and through here, back to our left finishing point. Now we won't see this tread anymore, and the reason why is we're starting to cover up because we're starting to get above our eye level, which is our horizon line, right in, whoops, right in through, all the way through there. So here's the end of our tread, right through, back to our right vanishing point and through. So it's a real slivered kind of look, right in through there. It ends up about right in through here to our platform. And there we go. So now we're coming up to our platform here. So I can darken that in. There. And there a little bit better. Remember, this line is almost as straight as the horizon line. It's really hard to see, but all the way over, and it meets up right over to here, and then back to measure to get back to that riser here. Okay, so now we're good. Now we're getting close. Now we got to build the other side on through and down. Okay, so we've got the slope control to help us out in our connections. So right here, this line, the second darker line right there, that gives us the length of our stairs right there to there. Okay. I wouldn't want to be hanging on these stairs too long. These are not kid friendly. Whew, those are high risers. You generally want your treads to be a little bit longer than your risers for safety reasons. Okay, so from this point to it right there, it's getting a little tight in there. Right there we want to go nice and vertical down. Okay. That means we want to connect up with our line, I'll show you, right there. There we go. This line here, that's the line for our tread, and then that angle is already connected to it. It's kind of like drawing a pyramid in a way. It's what it reminds me of, this pyramidal, I forget the name of the pyramid. So Aztec Mayan names are great. So there was our tread. There's the point where we're in. Now we can go down. We know where to go down. We go down to here, right? Go down, stop where it meets up with that guide right here. Okay, and then we know to go with our tread along here. Here we go. Bingo. And we're through there. Okay, and then we'll go nice and down vertical. Right there and through. Close, pretty close. Off a little bit. I should line up with 10, but it's pretty, or 9, but pretty close. Close enough. I won't be too exact. If you really want to be ultra exact, and it's a good thing. It's certainly a good thing. You want to keep that pencil. I've said that 1,000 times, right? Really sharp. Sometimes I need to take my own advice. All right, now we're not finished. We have this corner we still don't see in this corner. We don't see here because we're above eye level. So the end of this tread, I'll show you just a little bit, would be there, but it would be invisible, right? Or we'd have to draw a dotted line because we don't see it. Here's the actual concrete finished top of it right there. Okay. Now, so we do see from this corner, we go back to the right vanishing point. Okay. Here and right there, we see a little bit of the tread right there. Okay. Same thing on this side, right there. We see a little bit of the tread right there. Bingo. And we want to draw that in right there. So let me color those in. We'll color in all our treads. And then we'll take a look at our work and why we did this. Here's a little bit of a tread that we see, a little bit of a tread that we see there. We see a tread here. Okay, and we've got measured. Now, if you don't like the risers, what would you do? How would you change the height of your risers? A couple of things you could do. Now, if you're constructing it, like if you're drawing, you could actually build a little extra on the riser, a little extra here to make them more manageable to step onto. It's the slope. The slope is really high. We can change that slope by changing these dimensions and to make them wider. If we make them wider, that slope will get lower too as well. So it's a good lesson, I think, overall, to show you little mistakes you'll make that I have to go back, that I make from time to time, that I have to go back and correct. And that generally is keeping my pencil ultra sharp and not being lazy with being off a 16th, because sometimes you're off a 16th and then a 16th becomes an 8th, and 8 becomes 3/16, and then it's a 1/4 inch, and then wow, that starts to get even worse as you go through. So there you go. So now we did measuring steps. This is exercise 23B with our stairs. Exercise 23, section B. And we used a baseline for our measuring, and we measured on the ground to get the separation of steps in perspective. All right, so there you go. Of course, as we go up with, our drawing here, we're coming. You could say up here in the platform, you're here, then you're down, right? You're coming across, and then you're down on the tread, come across, and then down again. And you're coming across, and then of course you're on the ground and you're on your way, and it gives you nice equal spacing up and through, even though they're kind of awkward because we don't have a chance to correct the risers. Now you could with another vertical measuring line, but that's for a different lesson too as well. We'll get there. Okay, there you go. Exercise 23. Let's go on to 24, which will be the most complex series of steps. We'll go for an incline, a decline, and we'll draw a handrail, and we'll go up to a door for exercise 24. Okay, see you there.